This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. I would say we're at the second half part of the season, but then I wouldn't be telling the truth, really. It's the second part of the season that has already passed the halfway point because the All-Star game keeps coming later and later and later in the year. Royals get ready to look at the second half or the first 80-plus games, 84 games, 85, I don't know. Catcher, we look at Salvador Perez. He had a great start off to the season. However, I thought you could give him a B, A, but I'll probably give him a B after he's slowed down a bit. But still a very good catcher and still elite above his age. First base and also a surprise at what it is, Freddie Freeman. He could be a starting catcher, it looks like, although I'd like to see him get more at-bats before the Royals make that decision. And they've got a catcher coming up through the system that may end up being the starter no matter what. Logan Porter, who might be a starter no matter what, after Salvador is done. First baseman Vinny Quastantino hitting .246 with 11 homers. I'll give him B- to C+. He is hitting with a good average, with an okay average. Not really where you want it to be. 11 home runs, not where you want your first baseman to be, but that's okay. Second baseman Michael Massey. Michael Massey is a player at second base that I think has helped the Royals, but he has been injured so much that you probably have to give it the position overall a C+. Shortstop Bobby Whitt Junior at the top of his game, top player. The only reason I didn't put it as a C- is because I think Massey could be a good ball player if he stays healthy. Shortstop Bobby Whitt Jr., of course, I give him an A+, a top player in the AL shortstop's top 2. Would like him to see a little more power, especially after the home run derby, but don't change up your swing because that's one of the best things I've ever seen. He's the best Royals player I've ever seen since I've been watching baseball with the Royals 24 years plus. Third baseman Michael Garcia, give him a C. The reason I think he's probably a C to C- is because of his start. That I give him a C or C-, but is also twimbled down and doesn't look like a leadoff hitter. Looks like a ninth hitter. Left field, I've got MJ Melendez, and he's a D or D-. He is hurt now, and we see what's there. Do they put him in Drew Waters in there as they called him up? I'd like to see him give Waters a chance. Garrett Hampson. I'd also like to see him give a chance. Darren Blanco. I'd like to see him give him a chance, but I like him off the bench. But if you don't have anybody better hitting there, then you've got to figure out a right fielder as well. The Orioles outfield has really been a disappointment. That's about the one team spot in the bullpen who haven't met expectations. The White Sox come into a bad team as the White Sox are 27-71. As I said, overall the Royals are about an A- team. Expectations for the White Sox are very low, and frankly, they're still underachieving as they are the worst team by about 6 games in baseball. The White Sox are a dreadful 27-71. Chris Flaxen will go for the Sox and has struggled. Michael Wacha, who has met up to expectations as a third starter.
mile an hour with the split lefties. That's on 99, so he goes at. The payoff. Slings right through 100-mile-an-hour gas until his senior year.
Pitcher, as he has been throughout his career, mostly. Spencer Schimble has been a higher ERA for the Braves, but the Braves are still good at what the records are, as they are 53 and 42. The only reason they're not in first place is because they had the Phillies up top of that division. Game time is at 6:20. The Cubs are playing right now. Starting pitchers are Justin Steele and Ryan Nielsen. The Diamondbacks are trying to play better as they were in the World Series last year, but they were a wild card team, so they still probably have hopes that it could happen again. The Cubs are 47 and 51. Game time will be at 1:30. With the NCAAF football game coming out, let's start looking at the Jayhawks and preview the Big 12. The members of the Big 12 are Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Colorado, a newcomer coming back from a former team in the Big 12, BYU in this second season, West Virginia, and the Cincinnati Bearcats, who became a member in 2023, SMU first season, TCU member since 2012 already, Baylor 9, Iowa State 10, UCF member since 2023, Texas Tech 12, 13, University of Utah 14, Houston joined since 2023, Arizona State members Arizona, number 16 new members. Let's look at the local Kansas Jayhawks. Look at them. They're all season starters. Let's look at their offensive starters. As far as seem, the KU football team has maybe been the best in my lifetime since at least 2007, 2008. But this team, Kansas Jayhawks, I believe has better potentials. I think they have a better coach now, and Lance Leipold, Mark Mangino did end up not improving the team and probably lost some of their momentum as they became one of the worst programs. And Kansas was probably a team that could have dropped down to Division II or just dropped out of football at that time before Lance Leipold coming in. Now back into the top 25 and one of the best teams in the Big 12. Look for them to finish third, fourth, or whatever. Jalen Daniels has a bunch of talent. Devin Neal was very good last year in his senior season. I expect him to meet expectations or over expectations. Wide receiver Lawrence Oliver had over 700 yards. The rest of them had 500 yards. They'll be very good at the wide receiver position. The tight end and the offensive linemen are kind of wild card spots. We'll look at the Kansas Jayhawks defense and their schedule later on soon. This is...
As we'll see, the Coyotes taking on the 10th-ranked team in the land, the Missouri Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside Dave Pollock and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started.
This is going to impact the future of this franchise for generations. We got to get it right.
So says Chiefs president Mark Donovan in his first public comments on a future stadium home since Kansas approved star bonds and Missouri's governor met with area leadership. This as Kansas and Missouri make that push for the future to be on their turf once the Chiefs' lease with Jackson County expires in 2031. I'm John Holt.
I'm Bria Love. Thanks for joining us. Those questions extend past just the stadium. The team's training camp contract expires even sooner. This as the players and coaches start their quest for a third straight Super Bowl championship. Fox 4's Malik Jackson is in St. Joe tackling all the topics.